Hey screeners, happy spooky season. We are back with another episode. I'm Ricky.
And I'm Brittany.
And we are
Paper Screen.
In this episode, we're going to be talking about our top 5 spooky movies.
Boo bitch.
We're spooky bitches.
Yeah. We go haunting in the night.
And if you've listened to our past episodes, you would be aware that we've done this list before and we're doing it again because why not?
People liked it, and we're giving the people what they want.
Exactly. Yeah, so I guess we'll start with our number 5 and work our way down.
Perfect. So my number 5 it's a childhood movie. I think a lot of people have heard of it, but they haven't seen it, and it is called Alligator.
Oh, yeah.
And it's about an alligator that grows in the sewers.
Yeah.
He's fucking big. He's like the size of like a school bus.
And that's the one where like there's like a whole... It's a girl.
Because it doesn't... I think she lays eggs or something at the end. Or...
They find eggs.
Yes. She.
That's the one where like there's like a whole part in the pool. The family's house.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's like the final scene or some shit. Or I could be thinking of part 2. I don't remember. It's been a while.
It's a childhood movie, but it was good. I know. I do want to rewatch that though. I love that type of movie. What's your number 5?
Okay, so my number 5 is a 2000-ish movie. It's The Ring.
Ooh, yes.
Yes, because I love my little ghost girls with long hair. No, this movie like scared the shit out of me when I saw it in theaters. I mean, I loved this movie when I first saw it. The whole videotape thing. Naomi Watts. She's got a great scream.
Oh, yeah. Samara?
Yes. Okay, when they show that, like, that jump scare of, like, the girl in the closet.
Mm-hmm. Oh, dude, that was so iconic.
Yeah.
Definitely the scariest part of that movie, too.
Yeah.
That's Amber Tamblyn.
Yeah. I think my favorite part of that movie is when she does come out of the TV.
That's so scary.
I don't think I had seen any movie ever do anything like that. That shocked me. And that part shocked me.
What about The Fly?
The fly coming out of the TV?
That was trippy.
It was trippy, but I was like, they must be foreshadowing something.
Yeah.
Did not expect like the whole girl to come out of the TV. And when it started like leaking, the water dripping out of the TV, I was like, this is so cool.
Yeah. That movie was very iconic. It was fucking scary.
Yeah.
It's still scary too.
I would say like it's like the better remakes. Mm-hmm. Like horror remakes. I've seen Ringu. Yeah. And it doesn't hit the same way.
Billy was saying the books are like really good.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to read them.
So I haven't seen this, but they made like The Ring versus The Grudge. Like the Japanese. Yeah.
Dude.
And I need to watch it because it looks fun.
That sounds amazing.
It's giving like Freddy versus Jason.
Oh my God, yes. Which I actually, when I saw that, I liked it.
So I guess like someone watches the tape in the Grudge house.
Okay.
So there's like a whole final scene where like the Ring girl and then the Grudge girl are like in the same. And, yeah.
I'm looking at pictures of it.
Cinematic universe.
Oh my God. Samara, she's just like a little kid that like died in a well, right?
She didn't just die. She got pushed in there.
Her mom pushed her in her?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's so sad. Why did she do that? She didn't want her? Or like
no, because she was cursed. She had a gift where she would make people see things.
Oh.
And like all the crops were dying, like animals were dying because of her.
Okay.
People were getting sick and the dad is Brian Cox from Succession.
Wait, he's Samara's dad?
Yeah.
Wow.
What is your number 4?
My number 4, it's a movie that I literally think is scary. It's kind of interesting because someone we were talking to in a group text was like, what's a scary movie? And I was like, I said this movie and someone else, and I was like, oddly enough, this other friend like thought it was like boring. And I was like, this movie was like, I like regretted watching this. The Witch.
Oh, with our girl, right?
Anya.
You know, I forgot what happens in that movie. The only thing I remember is that goat. That goat is the goat.
I'm gonna spoil. She's playing peekaboo with her baby brother or sister, and when she's doing like peekaboo, like covering her eyes, and then she like looks, and the baby's like not in front of her, and it's like olden times, like what do you call them?
It's like
settlers.
Yeah, it's like New England back in the day.
Yeah, kind of like Amish, like old people, but. So
we get it.
The kid gets snatched and she literally can't find him, and it's scary because she covers her eyes for like just to go peekaboo, you know, like it's like for a second, so it's like fucking creepy, and she kind of like hears like something maybe went into the woods, and then the family's like, you dumb bitch, like you lost your baby sibling. But the most fucked up part of that movie is like it starts showing these like very weird dark shots, and it's like that fucking witch killed the baby and then like rubbed the baby's blood all over her naked body and her broom.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like that was so dark.
I don't remember that part, but
it's kind of quick.
It's kind of coming back to me though. They find some guy too, right? And he's like in the shed.
Oh, because they find like because they find where the witch lives, actually.
Right.
Or she does. But I was gonna say the witch honestly kind of looks like the person that Riley turns into at the hospital in Talk to Me. Like that's what the witch looked like, in my opinion. Anyway, then it's like
yeah, she does.
It's probably the same actor. It'd be so funny. I'm like,
I mean, it is A24.
Oh my god. And the whole time, like, they keep kind of making her feel like, you know, they kind of treat her differently. The big sister, Anya Taylor-Joy. There's, like, this fucking creepy-ass scene where, like, the mom thinks, she's, like, hallucinating. The mom is, and she thinks she's breastfeeding, but it's just, like, a crow pecking at her tit. Like, that movie was fucking scary. I was like, damn, this is, like, so dark. So everyone dies in her family, and then the goat, what's the goat's name again?
Black Phillip.
Black Phillip is like, hey bitch, and he goes, well, that like to live deliciously or whatever. Mm-hmm. She's like, yeah, fuck it, like my family sucks. And then so she goes into the woods, and all the witches are like dancing naked together and floating. It's like beautiful. And
that's the end of the movie.
Very girl power.
Wait, does the goat actually talk, or is it just like off screen?
You hear his voice, but the goat's not moving his mouth, I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
Well, that's like to live deliciously.
I just remember where it's like pouncing or jumping. And that part like scares me.
Yeah, he's like their pet goat.
Oh.
Their farm goat. And I think he's kind of like been kind of, right? I might be wrong. I thought he was, and he's like a nuisance. Black Phillip actually recently got a shirt, a little graphic tee. It's a bunch of kittens. And it says, well, thou like to live deliciously. It's just a bunch of kittens. I think I didn't announce this in an earlier episode, but we've adopted a new cat. Her name's Moose. She's 15, super skinny, stage 1 kidney failure. She loves to eat, and she looks like she has a little white mustache.
Yeah.
She's like she literally cries like a baby. It's so funny.
It's adorable.
Yeah.
Okay, my number 4, Stir of Echoes with Kevin Bacon. If you don't know what this movie is about, it's basically Kevin Bacon goes to this party and he gets hypnotized, and then all of a sudden he is having paranormal experiences in his home. It's like a spooky, supernatural mystery thriller. It came out around the time of like What Lies Beneath and like The Sixth Sense.
1999.
Yeah. I remember watching this on VHS in a dark room, and I was fucking scared of this movie. Ooh. Just because like I was living in a bedroom with no windows, so it was pitch black all the time.
Fuck that. That's not legal.
And it was like so scary that I couldn't even finish it the first watch. So I had to wait till the next day when it was like daylight to watch the rest of it. But yeah, I refer to this movie like all the time just because like I think it's really well done. It's also based on a book. Yeah,
by Richard Matheson. I just see it on my computer.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's a lot of spooky shit. And I love like when he gets hypnotized. Like he goes into like the movie theater and he's like floating
I need to rewatch this. It's been so
And they
long.
use that song Painted Black by Rolling Stones.
That's a good song.
Because there's like, you learn why that song is like part of the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't like basements because of that movie.
Ooh.
All right, well, that's my number 4. What's your number 3?
My number 3, I feel like we had to have talked about it. The Descent.
Oh my God.
Like, so fucking scary.
I love that movie.
It's good.
Yeah.
Like, it'll scare the shit out of you.
This is why I'm not an outdoors girl.
Especially caves.
Yeah. Hell no, I'm not going to a dark ass, like, cave.
Pitch black.
Exactly. I
Like,
don't know what I'm fucking doing.
just the concept of, like, humans living in caves forever and, like, so, like, they don't have eyes. They've, like, adapted to the dark. Like, it's so scary. I mean, just, like, thinking about being in a dark cave is, like, scary. It's, like, claustrophobic. You're clearly vulnerable. And then the idea of, like, figuring out there's some shit in here eating people. Oh. And then there's the whole crazy-ass storyline where, like, one of her besties is, like, hooking up with her husband.
That part I liked because it's like she's conflicted with who her real friends are. Basically, she's kind of like it's messing with her mental stability. Like she doesn't know what's real or what's not. Because she's also seeing like her daughter.
But that is like the most badass part of the movie is like the end. It's like she can save her backstabbing friend, but she's like, nah.
Right, I'm gonna let these fucking monsters just eat you.
Yeah. I was like, damn.
So there's an alternate ending.
No way.
The American version shows that she just sees like her friend's ghosts in the car.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to black. But in the UK version, she wakes up from a dream and she's still in the cave. And now she's seeing her daughter again. And it's kind of showing that like she's crazy, basically.
Wait, she's crazy like the creatures aren't real? Or she's just crazy and there's creatures?
She's crazy and the creatures are real.
I was going to be like, I don't like it if the creatures aren't real. And then I really think like the ending was just so like, because it was just like, she's fucking letting her get eaten by those things.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, again, it's just like, you must have really fucking hated that bitch. Because like these things are so scary. And like when they fall into like the pools of like, is it a pool of blood or like what is it?
It's a pool of blood. It's like the cesspool.
Disgusting.
It's like where they poop and shit.
Oh, and the poster, legendary. Iconic. The poster of like it's all the girls' bodies and it's making a skull.
Oh, yeah, that one.
It was so cool. What's your number 3?
My number 3, a lot of people have seen this. It is It Follows.
Yes.
Classic. Mm-hmm. This movie like reinvented like that story of like group of teenagers. There's like a curse.
Like a contagion.
Yeah. And it kind of also, it's in that realm of like elevated horror.
Yeah.
Where there's like a metaphor. In this movie, the villain is different people and it's just following you.
Yeah.
And it's just so creepy and like weird that I like it.
Yeah.
The part when like the tall dude comes out into the room. And I'm like, oh my God.
That was so scary.
I was like, what the fuck? This is giant.
That was so I like forgot about that. You're saying, I'm like, holy shit, I could just see it. It's so fucking scary.
Well, they like open the door, or she opens the door because like she's like locking herself in the bedroom, but she opens the door because her friends are like, there's nothing there. And all of a sudden this tall man starts rushing in and she's screaming, and it's like, I don't know, he looks like Frankenstein.
Yeah, he has very dark shadows around his eyes. He has to hunch because he would touch the ceiling if he didn't.
Yeah. I really liked that movie. It is kind of like a metaphor of like sexual transmitted diseases and how it stays with you. You get it from having sex and
a reputation that follows you.
Mm.
But you know what? Fuck the stigma. Yeah, I one of the things I like about that movie is it feels retro.
Yeah, but it's like set in like a different world.
Oh,
Like, it has nothing to do with like the 80s or anything. It just has that vibe.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. I thought for a second, I thought you meant literally a different world. And I was like,
Well, also like the seasons like are different in that movie. Like, it's like fall one day and like summer another. You'll see them wear coats and then they're not wearing coats.
I love that girl too. Micah Monroe.
Yeah, I like her.
I watched a movie with her too recently.
Watch her?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yes and no. Me and Boom watched it, and I think we liked it, but there was something like it could have been shorter, or like we were kind of confused about her character.
Right.
Or
like,
maybe
is she crazy, or is it just all in her head?
Yeah. And I knew it had to have been real or whatever, but I think part of it too is like I didn't get her husband. I was like, you're really not able to like...
I know, he's like really an idiot.
Yeah. And I think that maybe is like what it kind of like took me out, because it was like, dude, what the fuck? But I was also like, damn, you rich people. Yeah, one of the things that was really scary in It Follows is the pool scene.
That final scene, the climax.
I think she was seeing her dad, you know.
Oh, at the end?
That offed himself. That's what I think she was seeing. Because she like didn't want her sister to look.
God, I want to watch this movie now.
Right?
So that's my number 3. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is, I had to put in a classic. I think this is like the funner one to watch for spooky season. The Birds.
Oh.
By Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah, classic. So The Birds, what did you like about it?
So iconic costuming. Her little, green outfit. It's like very Technicolor, you know.
Mm-hmm.
For Alfred Hitchcock too, because some of his movies can be really like a slow burn. You know, it was one of his in color. I like the kind of just strangeness of it. It's like, so she meets this dude at a pet store and she like buys a bird. Or no, I'm sorry, lovebirds. Oh, lovebirds are so cute. Do you know what they look like? They're cute. And she falls for the guy at the pet shop. All of a sudden birds start fucking going nuts. But it's like, for the time, kind of like really like a big risk. I feel like pitching, hey guys, I have an idea for a movie. And I think he could only do it because he had such an established
name.
Yeah. But 1963.
So I feel like The Birds is like The Happening.
No way. That's funny.
But not like in a bad way, but
yeah.
in a good way.
The kind of camp.
Yeah. Because they're like, what the fuck? Why are these birds like going crazy?
That's funny because the only thing that The Birds has given me the vibe of is Jaws.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but it might just be because of like the 60s and like the colors.
Isn't there a scene on the beach?
Yes, I was just gonna say that, in like seaside and stuff. I'm like, did they ever give a reason for the birds attacking?
Climate change. Oh my God. I wonder if it was remade. That would be the reason.
Dude, I'm shocked it hasn't been remade. Yeah, it's just in like throughout the movie, slowly birds are like congregating, and it's just kind of, and that's really eerie. And at some point, there's just like birds everywhere, just chilling, and it's like, the fuck, that is really creepy. So that's The Birds. It might be my favorite Hitchcock, actually.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I think mine. I mean, I have to watch more of his movies. I don't think I've seen like North by Northwest like all the way, but I think mine is Rope, because you know it's about 2 gay men hiding a body.
Body. That could be a cool remake.
Oh yeah,
hit up Universal.
I'll make my own version.
You need the rights though.
That's why I'm gonna make my own version. Instead of Rope, I'll call it Strap.
Ooh, okay, that's so good.
Like a strap on.
Yes, I love that.
So moving on, my number 2 is The Exorcist.
Ooh, classic.
I wanted to put this on the list because the new movie's out. This movie scared the shit out of me as a child. And I had never seen the original Exorcist movie, but the version that I saw was like the unrated version that was never seen in theaters.
But of the original movie?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was like a director's cut or something. William Friedkin, R.I.P.
Yeah.
So this movie, this version that I saw was so scary. What scared me was like the demon face that they show every fucking 10 seconds in the movie. I'm like, oh my God, can they stop? It's freaky.
Yeah.
I watched this at 2 a.m.
Oh fuck.
I was like, I cannot, because I'm scared, and I'm seeing flashes of this demon.
Yeah. in a dark room.
Right. And that's like the only part of the movie that's like really scary to me.
Yeah.
But then like when she gets possessed, like Linda Blair, like she's or I guess Reagan is the character's name. She gets possessed and then she has her deep voice and it's like really scary.
It's so, yeah, it is like so fucked.
I'm like, that is not a human.
Yeah. That's not a human.
There's like so many iconic parts. Really triggering. Like there's a part where she's stabbing her.
With a crucifix.
The head spinning. Oh my God.
I'm surprised that movie didn't get shut down for the crucifix thing.
Yeah. And then the part like where she's crawling down those stairs.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
But that was my number 2.
Speaking of Exorcist, so like I never really thought that movie was scary. I think it's more like
a comedy.
Like it's more just like kind of, but it's, I don't even know how I would describe it. Like I don't get scared watching it. It's more just like I know this is like grotesque, so it's like fun. Possession and stuff doesn't scare me like at all. So I went and saw this screening of this movie called Padre Pio, starring Shia LaBeouf. It's about like a Catholic saint. So Padre Pio was like this, you know, friar or something, turned Catholic saint. There's like 14,000 Catholic saints, which I didn't know. Like I don't know a ton about Catholicism, but I was like, this shit's crazy. He was like the saint of stigmata or something. So like he had stigmata, and he had, I don't know if it had something to do with like exorcisms or I don't know. Interesting enough. So I went to that movie and Shia LaBeouf was there and he was like answering questions and I was like, wow, like me 12 years ago would be dying right now. I would have like, I was like in love with him like 12 years ago.
Right.
And I think he's a douchebag. He still gave me like really douchey vibes. He just kind of, it seems like he kind of like intentionally tries to lower his voice when he talks.
Right.
Anyway, so to give a little bit of backstory, he's like sober and now he's like a devout Catholic. That movie is like hilarious and it's not supposed to be. If you're listening and you want to like watch a movie with some friends or like a friend, watch Padre Pio starring Shia LaBeouf. Like okay. Me and Gemini went and we didn't like laugh. But we both afterward, like we had talked about it and we were like, dude, we would have laughed our asses off if like,
oh my God.
Because it's a serious movie. So like you just kind of knew you couldn't. But there's like a second storyline in the movie that's like based off a true event. A small communist group in Italy, they're trying to form after the war for like good reasons, you know, like to raise the community.
Right.
They were all murdered like in the street by like the local mayor. I don't know, something like that. But Shia LaBeouf, let me get back to it. Shia LaBeouf starts talking about how he went up to Berkeley because he spent a lot of fucking time with like the Catholic Church, like the friars and stuff, like practicing basically. He like went and like worked with an exorcist. And he was like, if you would have asked me if I believed in that shit, no. He was like, I mean, I was basically an atheist. He's like, in exorcism? He's like, no, that's not real. That's like so stupid. He's like, but the shit I saw. And I'm like, what? And it's so like...
So there was like recordings.
No, he was physically with a man who does exorcisms.
Oh.
For people who are possessed. And Shia specifically said, these weren't people with like schizophrenia or bipolar. This was like people who are possessed. And I'm like, you know, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't intrigued. But then I'm also just like, there's no fucking way. But like my grandma died like a few months ago. She was like a devout Catholic. And like the last time I spent time with her was for like a year prior. Not even a year prior, actually. 8 months prior. I stayed with her for a week for like my grandpa's funeral. And we would stay up late and talk. We got on the topic of like faith. And I was just like, I kind of lost it. Like I used to be like so faithful, but I like lost it. She was just so like, why? And I was just like really honest with her. I was like horrible things happen and like God sounds like the bad guy if you read the Bible.
Right.
And I don't like, everything sounds so fantastical. Like exorcisms, I'm like, it sounds ridiculous. I'm also against exorcisms because historically when they would do exorcisms, it would be on people with like disabilities or like they would do it to like gay people.
Yeah.
Like exorcisms have like killed people and been very criminal and horrible, and people with especially mental illness, like real talk, you know, like that's, so I'm like whatever. Anyway, but she was just like, you must have faith We had like the most intense conversation. And then during her funeral, I had to like speak, and I said a line, and the word was like faith. And I like lost it. And I was totally calm and content and everything the whole funeral. And then I read that word, and it was like, boom. And my cousin, the same word. She read separately from me, and the same thing happened to her. So I'm listening to Shia LaBeouf, and I had recently gone through this, like, I'm going through like grief, but also like this weird Catholic thing. Part of like how I want to respect my grandma was like, I want to respect that she was Catholic, even though I'm not. And like, I think Catholicism's kind of fucked, no offense, but I love its art. It's cool. Like the funerals are like very like kind of gothic. Like,
yeah, I've been to one.
Yeah, they're kind of cool. Anyway, so Shia LaBeouf apparently has gone to exorcisms. Like, but like, I don't believe it. And I think that's why exorcist stuff and possession doesn't scare me, because I'm like, I just don't buy it. If you did that in front of me, I'd be like, stop fucking around, dude. I don't believe you.
Yeah.
And like stigmata, like I'm like, Padre Pio was crazy. That's it. He was crazy. I'm just like, oh, that's not real. That's crazy. Like, come on.
There you have it. Brittany doesn't believe in
exorcist.
exorcisms and possession.
I want to believe. That's the sad part.
Oh, maybe you'll believe when you see the new movie, Believer. Okay, what's your number one?
So my number one.
Wait, do you have any honorable mentions?
My honorable mention is Ernest Halloween. That was a classic. That was a fave when I was like a small kid. At the same time, like the creatures, like they did scare me. Like they did scare me.
I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
You should watch it. I mean, I haven't watched it in so long. The funniest thing is like I like didn't realize this until I was an adult, like a few years ago. You know how he says, you know what I mean, Vern?
Yeah.
We're Vern. He looks at the camera and calls us Vern. In my memory, I'm like, I thought he had like a pet turtle or something.
Yeah.
I thought he was like talking to something. No, we are Vern.
Wow, breaking the fourth wall.
Dude. Iconic. God bless Ernest.
Okay, what's your number one?
My number one is the 2023, The Boogeyman.
Wow. That's a pretty
scary movie.
It's a fun movie. Why number one?
It's really fucking scary. What do you mean, why number one?
I was surprised to hear it on this list because it's a new movie.
Oh, I think because I don't think a lot of people saw it. So that's why I want it to be number one, because I'm like, the new Boogeyman movie is fucking scary. Watch it.
It's actually like a well done movie, very classy, and like not generic like the other Boogeyman movies that we've seen. It's really good, just the way it's done. It's
like mature, and it does do like traditional tropes, but like in a really crafted way. I was like, we went to it, I didn't know what it was about. We're both kind of like, okay, like, you know, and we were at an exclusive screening. We got free popcorn and soda, and we took a picture.
And we got to see Q&A with the director, Rob Savage.
Yeah, and the two actors.
Oh, yeah.
Who, one of them was in fucking Oppenheimer.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, this motherfucker was like so chill and cool at Boogeyman. Little did we know, he's an Oppenheimer. But
I got gay vibes from him.
Me too. Is he not?
I don't know. He could be on the spectrum.
Yeah, true. Yeah, he was awesome. It was funny too, because I asked a question.
Oh, yeah. Your question was, would you do another Stephen King book, and what would it be? Yeah. The one guy that was like, no.
He's just like looking at us, and he just goes, no. Because he had explained that he's not into horror. He hates horror. He kind of just did the movie because like the director and him.
A paycheck.
and like it was like he was playing a therapist, and it was the way the director had explained the film to him was like, it's not like a horror movie. It's a movie about grief. It was just so eloquent that he was like, okay, I'm down.
Okay, he was in Devil.
Oh, I didn't see it. Remember, I never saw that.
Which is like kind of a horror movie, but more of like it's like a thriller.
Anyway, and then the other guy said it's this like short story collection called Night Shift by Stephen King, and he was saying like he always really liked the scene with like the rat, like a bunch of rats, And then the director said he would do the Langoliers, I think, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, yeah. Everyone was like so excited to hear that. And I, like, for real, I was like, dude, let him.
Yeah.
He did such a great... This is a 5-page short, the actual short story by Stephen King. And it's literally only the conversation of the man, the father from... And then the father who's a therapist.
Right.
That's what that movie is. And he turned it into such a cool, bigger thing.
Yeah. Anyways, okay. My honorable mentions.
Yes, let's do it.
And my number 1. Okay, you can laugh at me if
Okay.
you want. Halloween H2O.
Ooh.
Best legacy sequel in the Halloween franchise.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who's in that one? That rapper?
LL Cool J.
Yes. LL Cool J makes a movie.
But no, like that movie wasn't great, but because it had the 90s feel, I like it. And there's a line in the movie that is so funny to me. No sex games until I've eaten.
Oh my God. That's so good.
And Josh Hartnett's in it. Michelle Williams is in it. And then also my other honorable mention is Scream 2.
Oh.
Because I love Scream 2.
That would never be on my list.
Because it's epic. There's like a whole car chase, crash scene, and then like Sarah Michelle's death scene. And then the epic like final killer reveal is like theater.
I need because I saw it the one time. I remember very little.
It's great, honestly. It's like the first Scream movie I've ever seen.
Oh,
That's why I like it.
You didn't see Scream 1 first?
No, so I was like, who the fuck is this bitch?
Oh my God. That's crazy.
But yeah, my number 1 is Trick or Treat.
Oh, that's a good one.
Well, yeah, because it is a Halloween movie.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen it, like you should, because it is basically set on Halloween. And it's like 4 stories intertwined with each other. And it's just like really well done. And, you know, it's got a little sci-fi in it, but Brian Cox is also in this. He plays the grumpy neighbor with a dog.
Shout out to Brian Cox.
Well, guys, that's our top 5 spooky movies.
For 2023.
So, Brittany, where can we find you?
humble_book_reviews. And then also Brittany_gusto on Instagram. And Ricky, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at somecallme_Ricky. And if you like this episode, you can find us on Instagram and YouTube at Paper Screen Podcast. Until next time,
Bye.